Hey, good evening, everybody. We are the Crawford Chronicles. I'm one of your hosts, Homer Chris. I got my guy here, Browse, with us, and as it is obvious, we are PK-less. He's not feeling good, so we're hoping that he feels better. But man, what can I say? What a week it has been for Astros baseball. Just baseball for us in general. Before we get into that, Browse, how's your week going?
So far, so good, man. It's been crazy, like you said. Though we've had some weather issues. Obviously, the Dodgers were in town, and we had some predictions on that. You and I were very successful on that one. I know we're going to get into that series, but yeah. Other than that, we've got Little League playoffs starting. It's been busy, busy, and then we've got a busy weekend ahead. So anyway, yeah, PK, get well, buddy, and look forward to having you back. Other than that, man, I'm ready to get into it whenever you are. How was your week?
Dude, it was busy. I'm not gonna lie. It was a very brutal day for Astros fans and for our little league team yesterday. I mean, so yeah. I mean, besides that, we still have a lot of baseball coming on. We've got a brand new series that we'll get into. Astros and Reds are coming up this weekend. But yeah, man. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's been baseball, baseball, and when I think we have a day off, it's more baseball. So,
Yep.
but yeah, let's go ahead and let's break down, I guess, this Dodger series. And I mean, I know when normally PK's here, we'll go game by game by game. I mean, but honestly, man, like we've been going like nonstop, like between like stuff here, little league and stuff like that. Honestly, like I know the Astros lost yesterday, 12-2. The the middle game was actually a pitcher's duel, which I was kind of pretty crazily surprised about that. And then the first game with the Dodgers was an 8-3 win, if I do believe so. I think it was 8-3. All
Correct.
I know, all I know, all I know is that I mean, like, yes, you and I we did hit our predictions for the Dodgers taking the series 2-1. But I'm not gonna lie, there was definitely a piece of my heart in the back where's hoping the Astros would do something like they did last July and swept them and made them, look embarrassing. But I mean, but all in all, man, it was a pretty tough series to watch. I mean, they were in a bullpen game the first game, and it's just you got a little bit of offense, but it wasn't enough. It seems like with the two games that they lost, it seems like they got off to a quick start, and then the Dodgers were like, "Oh yeah, that's right, we're the Dodgers." And then, um, one thing I didn't like about this series is the fact that why is Todd Callis still calling Tuck or Kyle Tucker Tuck? I mean, I can understand the calling him Tuck, last season because he was traded, but he ended up choosing to sign with the Dodgers. I feel like when you choose to sign with another organization, you lose all ties, all nicknames, all stuff like that. I mean, like when Garrett Cole pitches against us, we don't still call him Coltrane or whatever the nickname was for Garrett Cole. So, um, but yeah, man. I mean, what was your immediate takeaways from this whole series? And I mean, we'll probably put a little bit more time and effort into the Peter Lambert start because that was really the only highlight of the series. But yeah, so what was your initial takes from this series?
Well, game one and game three went about the way I thought they were going to go. Like we've already said, we hit our predictions. Game one, though, we came out with a 2-1 lead after the first inning. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong for all the right reasons, basically. But just like you said, that went south very quickly. Ryan Weiss got hung out to dry, man. I felt so bad for that dude because Okert started that game. He didn't do terrible. He actually looked pretty good getting through, the first like four hitters. And then after that, when Weiss came in the second, there was nobody warming up. I mean, we already knew this was a bullpen game, but they just left him out there and like, dude, you're getting your pitches in. Good luck. You better do anything you possibly can to get outs. And what did he do? He gave up 7 runs. So anyway, long story. That game ended up 8-3. After the third inning, after the third inning, each team scored 1 run. There wasn't a whole lot going on after that. It was pretty lackluster. And then before we get into game three, I do agree with you. I think we definitely need to touch on what Lambert did in game two, because that was a huge, pleasant surprise, man. This guy, I thought Lambert was going to get touched up. And the reason I said that was because he is predominantly pitched in Colorado, and the Dodgers are the ones that are always, always, always just absolutely demolishing Colorado. So, they've probably seen him a number of times. I know that the Dodgers team has some new faces on there, like Tucker, as you had mentioned. But anyway, so who knows what their experience is with Lambert. But at the same time, since he's come to Houston, he has turned the page. So right now, I mean, this guy just looks like an absolute stopper. And thank God we've got him on our team. And thank God he's performing the way he is, because if it wasn't for him and Arrighetti, we'd be in some really, really big trouble right now.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of beat me to one of the points I was going to make once we moved on from kind of looking back at this series is but I mean I'll go ahead and try to save that too. Yeah, I mean Peter Lambert was one of those guys that you're kind of like you got really excited about because he had that master I mean I wouldn't call it masterful, but he had a fantastic start against Cleveland. And then his next out and he kind of, kind of sputtered. I mean like when you have a start like that, I think the bar as far as fans the bar is raised pretty high. And then he, kind of had a pretty mediocre start, and then 2 days ago he ends up out dueling Shohei Otani. I mean, so yeah, I mean that was a great game for him to pitch, and like the way I see it is that if you're gonna if you're gonna outduel one of those Dodger pitchers, I mean it doesn't get any better than Otani. I mean Otani came into the start with like a .67 ERA. I mean, so he wasn't even averaging giving up a run, and you found a way to beat them. And then, moving on to yesterday's game, you got off to a hot start. I mean, like, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to kind of like, step on both sides of the, both segments that, I wanted to talk about was Bryce Matthews. I mean, like, I understand when you look at the overall body of work this season, his average is still like 217, 211, somewhere around there. I mean, but like a couple of weeks ago, he was hitting like 109. I mean, so it's been really nice to watch him as he gets more playing time. You're slowly starting to see the talent that's there of why Dana Brown. Whether you're a fan of Dana Brown right now or you're not, I mean, but you're starting to see why Dana Brown he was real hesitant on not moving. Um, Bryce Matthews. I mean, I think that was one of the things we've always talked about here in the last couple seasons is the Astros call up these younger players, and then they play like they're some type of utility player getting at bats once every 3 or 4 games. So it's been a nice, pleasant start. Now, granted, that's probably because of all the injuries that you have. So Bryce Matthews is getting a lot of starts. He came out, he led the game off with a home run, and then you had Shoemake hit a home run, so that was fantastic. And then the Dodgers were like, "All right, cool story. It's our turn." And then the game was pretty much over. I mean, it was frustrating to watch Lance McCullers. I mean, Lance McCullers definitely struggled. I mean, he gave up 3 runs off of 3 wild pitches, and then there was a point, I think it was in the second or the third inning, um, that Espada goes out there and he's you're kind of holding your breath because it's like, oh boy, now McCullers is hurt again. And I think at some point in that start, they finally put the quote out that I guess half of his fingernail popped off on one of the pitches that he made, and I would assume that that's not very comfortable when when pretty much your whole pitching arsenal is a bunch of breaking pitches. So, but again, that game's 12-2. It's tough to watch, and then you get the news following that, which is that of Carlos Correa being out for the rest of the season, and it was a torn tendon in his ankle or something like that. Because I know because they
Yeah,
scratched him from the second game, right? That he was right at first pitch. He was a scratch. He was a late scratch.
yeah, and then well, the big one though was game three when he got scratcher in that day game. Obviously, he was taking BP in the cage. Apparently, hit a foul ball, twisted his left ankle, which, by the way, was not the reconstructed ankle. That was his right one. So this was supposed to be his good ankle. that he ended up hurting. And anyway, long story short, yeah, he tore a tendon in there. He's already seen a number of specialists. They're saying he's going to be out for the season now, and was supposed to have surgery, I believe, today. So, we'll see how that all goes. It's just a real shame because he looked really good playing defense. I can tell you that there have been a number of plays that we would not have gotten outs, especially, on pickoffs and stuff like that when he was playing short. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, he's got fantastic defense. He's not the power hitter that he once was, but the one thing is he's a leader in the clubhouse, and two, he was hitting very well. And when I say very well, I mean he was hitting between 250 and 300 for a Major League Baseball player. That's exactly what you want if you've got a heavily defensive either shortstop or third baseman. And he did still have the pop to get it out there over the fence. So anyway, the fact that we're losing him for the season is a huge blow. Keep in mind, it is not as huge of a blow since we retained Paredes in the offseason. And I know that's been all over Twitter. Everybody's been talking about that. Like, oh my gosh, thank God that we didn't trade Walker. Thank God we didn't trade Paredes. And, we were talking about this a lot in the offseason and in spring training right before we got going into the regular season. So it's what Walker has turned into is basically an all-star at this point. So right now you've got two all-stars on this team. Maybe three if you want to count Arrighetti, but you've got Jordan and you've got Walker. Both those guys are playing all-star caliber baseball. Arrighetti's looked fantastic, so I would love to see that happen. But my point being is that you still have an infield once Jeremy Pena comes back that is a very good serviceable infield. This is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, everybody says that Altuve's lost a step, maybe a little bit at the plate, but as far as defensively, he's looked fantastic at second base. I think he's filled right in and got back to his normal Altuve self, playing good D, hanging out with his shortstop, and having a good time. So as far as the defense is concerned and our infield is concerned, once we get Pena back here in about a week, I'm going to be totally happy with what's going on there. But it is a big blow to lose Correa because God forbid somebody else gets hurt now. Then what are you going to do? Because Nick Allen, who went into that game for Correa, had just been activated off the injured list as well. So it's like just hope these guys get healthy, stay healthy, and we can actually put them in a game.
Yeah, I mean, like losing Correa, I mean, was a massive blow. I think he was hitting around 279. Up until pretty much this season's over now. But yeah, I mean, I think the big thing that you're going to miss is that he was absolutely the team leader. On the field, in the dugout. I mean, so that's a massive blow. Yeah, I mean, and to basically say what you said about Nick Allen. I mean, I will say that there is at least one more option down in AAA, and this guy is hitting like 360 ever since we interviewed him. I'm just throwing it out there that if you want to get your game turned around, come holler at us. We'll interview you and we'll turn it around. So yeah, I mean, it's a massive blow. I mean, so like, and you lose another series to the Dodgers, or just another series in general. I mean, there's not been too many series that you've won, with the exception of the Red Sox series. I mean, so, but I mean, like, it's kind of tough to read like all the Twitter comments. Like, I mean, I don't quite know where I stand on the fence just yet, as far as like because you still have 5 months to change, and like the big thing right now is the AL West is such a dumpster fire right now, is that you're only 4 games out of first place. So now, I mean, like, you're also banking on when all these guys come back. I mean, earlier in the week you had rehab, starts from Emai, um, Josh Hader, and I think Nate Pearson as well. So you've got some
Yep.
arms potentially coming back, and hopefully guys like Emai, this is the little break that he needed to kind of get himself squared away. Of course, I mean, like, Josh Hader, you get him to come back. He can come back and definitely anchor the back end of the bullpen. That'll slide Abreu back to where he's normally comfortable in the setup spot. And then you got another arm that could throw 100 miles an hour in Nate Pearson. So I mean, the big thing is that again, it comes back down to the starting pitching. The starting pitching's got to give you more than 4 innings. I mean, so what I'm trying to say is that like there is some light at the end of this tunnel. There is some, like as I guess we kind of segue into the next segment, it's going to be like I'm not quite ready to throw in the towel, and it's May 7th. So I'm not quite ready just yet to throw in the towel and say that, that's it, wrap it up, let's start the rebuild, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some small benefits. Tickets would be a lot cheaper. There are some bright spots of this roster that, once all the guys come back healthy, I think this could still be a very formidable team. I mean, you have Christian Walker, who's having a fantastic season so far. Jordan's kind of cooled off. I mean, but he's basically been almost the best player in baseball right now. You've got the two guys that you probably did not see coming as being one of being hopefully they can continue to be dependable anchors in this rotation. And Spencer Arrighetti, and now I guess we can go ahead and throw Peter Lambert in that conversation as well. Brian King's been great out of the bullpen. It looks like AJ
Mhm.
Blueball has finally kind of settled back into what we were used to seeing from him towards the end of last season. So, and then you got the younger talent like Bryce Matthews. I mean, he's getting more regular playing time. So I feel like he's starting to figure out major league pitching a little bit more. Paredes has kind of stepped up now that he's gotten a little bit more everyday at bats. Altuve, I mean, I mean, did you see that ball that sweeper he swung at from Otani?
Yes, it was so far out of the zone. Somebody on Twitter actually measured it, and the distance
Yes.
between the ball and where he was standing was further than one Altuve. So that's right.
Yes, that
He
was yeah.
swung at a ball that was more than 5 feet 6 inches outside of his reach. So yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
bad. He's got to get back to the beginning of the season, man, where he was, had plate discipline, looked really good at the plate, was getting base knocks, and just getting on base, which is what we needed. So I'm hoping he can turn that around.
Yeah, and Cam Smith is kind of like, he's been a little streaky. I mean, but like, he had a big game in Boston. Bryce Matthews had a big game in Boston. I mean, like this was just a tough series. I mean, like if you really kind of look back, the Dodgers threw Yamamoto game 1, Otani game 2, and then you got a very good Tyler Glasnow game 3. I mean, so it's not like Joe Schmo, who just got called up from AAA, shut these Astros down. I mean, like you saw 3 really good pitchers against the Dodgers. Now, again, I mean, like I don't think it was a surprise to anybody that the Astros lost this series, but I mean, it's going to come back down to again starting pitching. And I agree. I think Wine Weiss definitely took one for the team. I mean, because that was brutal. That was tough to watch. And then you go back to the McCullers start yesterday. 3 earned runs off of 3 wild pitches. I mean, that's tough to watch as well. I mean, so the big thing is that like maybe the Astros can kind of play close to 500 ball. I mean, I know they're 15-22 or 15-23, 7 games under 500. But if you can kind of keep in, if you can kind of stay within 4 or 5 games of first place, and then you start getting the guys coming back that were hurt. I mean, like you got to think. I mean, like the Astros now have, as of right now, 16 players on the injured list. I mean,
Yep.
so it's just like, I mean, it's almost kind of tough to believe because it's like we just went through all this crap last season, and it's just been like a straight continuation from last season. I mean, so, but like I said, you know what? They don't call me Homer Chris for nothing, so I'm going to stay a little bit more positive before I'm ready to jump on let's slowly start rebuilding, the farm system. I'm going to hold out hope. I'm going to hold out hope that that's the positivity I'm going to try to bring to tonight's episode.
Well, I mean, I'm there with you too. I haven't given up on him at all. Now, I do want him to be as close to 500, if not 500 baseball by the time they get to the All-Star break. We've got to see some improvements. Most of those improvements have got to come from the pitching staff, just like you're talking about. But we do have reinforcements coming in. I think one of the things that we were really counting on Burrows and Imai being good starting pitchers. And so far, they have not been good starting pitchers. So if they can turn this around and give us at least some quality baseball, moving forward, then that would be very helpful. If we can get Brown back, obviously that would be very helpful. So if you get Brown, Arrighetti, oh man, and then it's like I don't even know who you would put exactly right behind that, but maybe Lambert. Maybe Lambert's your number 3 at this point. But at the same time, there's a couple things that have got to change, especially in the starting rotation, and then we've got to get either healthy or get some moves going in the bullpen as well. And I think that's going to be the key to getting close to 500 and starting to move up the rankings a little bit in the AL West before we get to that tipping point before the trade deadline and be like, okay, are we buyers? Are we sellers? Are we staying pat? What are we doing? So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. I know we've had to play the Yankees. I know we've had to play the Dodgers. We've played the Orioles. We had some tough teams we had to play, but keep in mind, we've already played the Rockies twice. I mean, if we play the Rockies twice, that should have been at least 4 or 5 wins, and we got swept out of Colorado, which didn't help. So we've got Cincinnati coming up this weekend, and then after that, we've got a huge homestand with Seattle and Texas coming to town, and that's going to basically prove where we fit in the pecking order in the AL West. So we'll see what happens with all that. But, before I start trying to get into next week already, like I said, I know we've got Cincinnati coming up, and they're going to have to, get in there. They're going to have to play some good baseball and definitely play better than they did against the Dodgers.
Yeah, and I was going to say, what a fantastic segue, Browse. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That's why we pay you the big bucks. And as we segue now to the Cincinnati Reds Astros series that we have coming up starting tomorrow, let's go ahead and preview our Crawford Chronicles series predictions. As you can see, right now I've got a healthy 3-game lead on everybody, and I'm finally back to being over 500 where I belong. And I'm hoping PK's watching this because now he's at the bottom where he belongs as well. So um here's to me continuing the winning streak. So Browse, who go ahead and hit us with the probables for the Reds and Astros.
All right, coming up this weekend on Friday night's game, starting out at a 5:10 Central start time, a little bit of an odd time for a Friday game, but make sure you notate that. We've got Burrows against Lodolo. He's going to be making Lodolo, excuse me, he's going to be making his Major League Baseball first start, I believe. He's 0-0 with an OERA. Burrow's 1-4 with a just barely sub 6 ERA at 5.97. And then going into Saturday's game, we've got the big guy, Mr. Arrighetti, coming in 4-0, 1.96 ERA. Speaking of all-star stats, against Burns, who has been very good for the Reds. He's 3-1 with a 2.2 ERA. We got a 3.10 start there. And then for your Mother's Day game, everybody's favorite pitcher, TBD, against Abbott, 1-2 with a 5.13 ERA. So, Chris, what are you thinking?
All right, so we've already asked PK, and PK is going to go with a 2-1 series win for the Cincinnati Reds because he's a hater and he hates everything that makes Houston fans happy. So, man, that's tough. I mean, like Lodolo's a pretty good pitcher. I mean, so I'm assuming he's probably coming off some type of injury to where it delayed his 2026 debut until today or tomorrow. I'm sorry, and he's going against
the debut, not MLB debut. His season.
Yeah,
debut.
No, you're good. I mean, Burrows didn't look terrible, but it seems like with Burrows, he has a not so terrible start, and then he'll go right into a god awful start. So if this trend continues, but then again, I mean, like, how long is the leash on Lodolo? I mean, so you're kind of have to figure it out. I have no idea who the hell they're going to pitch on Sunday, as far as the Astros. No idea. I don't think it's time to call up Miguel Uola yet. I think he's still figuring out things in AAA. I mean, it might be, I don't know. It could be Alexander or Weiss, one of them. I have all the faith in the world, Spencer Arrighetti. So I'm going to go. You know what? You know what? I'm going to give you guys a shot. I'm going to say the Astros are going to take the series 2-1.
Took the words out of my mouth. I was going to go 2-1 as well. I think Burrows does have this is a get right game for him. It should be anyway, because like I said, he's going to be playing in Cincinnati. The guy came from the NL Central, right? So he is very familiar with his ballpark. He's very familiar with his team. I think he's going to be able to do this, especially with Lodolo making his first start of the season, and then a Reds team that's been struggling a little bit in the NL Central. So, I think he's got a really good shot at winning this. Arrighetti, I think he's going to come right back out and do exactly what he normally does. So if we can get him to take game 2, that'd be fantastic. And then game 3, I kind of agree with you. I don't really know what they're going to do. They've already said Ibai is going to come back for the Seattle series. So that kind of leaves this open. It could be Jason Alexander. I think that he looked good in the Dodgers series. So I wouldn't see any reason why he couldn't be the starting pitcher on Sunday.
Didn't he give up like 5 runs in the Dodger series?
Did he? I didn't think he gave up 5. I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure he got smacked around. That's why they immediately sent him down.
Well, I say Ryan Weiss got sent down too. So I don't think that he's going to be up there. So that kind of leaves, maybe it's Kiwi Tang. I don't know. They keep talking about him starting, but he hasn't started yet.
They need to leave him in the bullpen and stop.
I agree with you, dude.
Leave him in the bullpen.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. Like, do not try to fix something that is not broken. Stop it. leave him in the bullpen and let him cook. So anyway, I have no idea who's pitching on Mother's Day. I know that whoever's on the mound will have a pink hat on, and other than that, that's about as good of a guess as I could possibly take. So I think we take the game Friday. I think we take the game Saturday, and then it's a coin toss what happens on Sunday. So I'm going to.
I think that's a very very respectful. I mean, I'm down with that too. Like I think Burrows is going to have a bounce back start. Maybe this is what's going to be what finally kind of gets him in his groove. Right now, it's really hard to go against Spencer Arrighetti. So even though as good as Chase Burns has been pitching, I mean, it's hard to go against Arrighetti. And then again, it's TBD on Sunday. I mean, so I have no idea who TBD could be. It could be Colton Gordon. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, so I'm just hoping. I would just like to see a series win and just kind of slowly, kind of get that record back up closer to 500, like you said earlier. And then once we start getting the reinforcements back, Pena, Imai, and Imai can get back to what he was showing in spring training, and Josh Hader can get back to what he was last season when he was probably the most dominating closer in all of baseball. I mean, little additions like that is going to help this team get better. I mean, so I'm hoping that by the time the trade deadline rolls around, we're buyers. I mean, we don't have a lot to shop with, but like I said, I mean, I like to see this team get a win, or get a series win, going to their 4-game series with Seattle. I like to put a beating on them, and then you got the Rangers coming into town, and that's always a series that you want to take. So, hopefully this gets us going, gaining some momentum and going in the right direction. So, but it is what it is. But hey, that's we're headed towards it. So I just want to thank everybody for taking the time for checking us out. You can check us out, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials that all the kids know. I don't remember all of them because there's a crap ton of them. But again, like I said, man, if you like what you see, man, we'll be back live again Sunday. We may, depending on what the schedule looks like, we may come back, do some recap games. But until the next time we see you guys, I'm Homer Chris. I'm with my guy Bryles, and we are the Crawford Chronicles.
Don't forget to go get that Mother's Day card for all the moms and wives out there, guys. And happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. It'll be awesome to see everybody on at Kroger on Saturday.
Scrambling.
Yeah.
Like, where's the candy aisle? Okay, gotta go find something.